Howdy, folks. Oh, welcome back to another lovely coffee time. With me, Cobra. I wanted to make this more a little small, quick tech quickie, if you will. But I got a coffee here. I even have some digestives. So I figured, why not talk to you guys? Let you guys know what's going on in my life. Or not going on in my life. Anyway, there are some things I want to talk about, but I can't. Now, the reason why I can't talk about them is because I am in the process of filing for certain patents and rights and whatnot to some of these ideas. Now, what I mean is, truthfully, in the tech sector, your money that you make in the tech sector is often in the IP. It's often in the derivative works. It's often in the back end. Okay, I can design. I can design this widget. Okay, and this widget is the best widget in the world, and this widget does everything in the universe. You plug this widget in, problem solved. You know, if someone in a specific country, I'm not going to say its name, but has a C and a P in it, gets a hold of this widget, there's nothing legally stopping them from taking my widget apart, looking at all the parts, cloning it, and then flooding the market with my widget, and now I'm done. However, if I take this widget and I own this widget, but then I take this widget and how I designed it, how I built it, the chips, if I take everything into account, put it down in every individual copyright with the exception of the processor, because you can't, because processors are registered trademarks of either NVIDIA Corp, Pi, or you know, they're the silicon manufacturer, so NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, etc., etc. But what I can do is also copyright the firmware. So someone does clone it, and they try to clone my. There's ways you can obfuscate the firmware. There is. You can do self-collapsing firmware. You can do self-deleting firmware. That's a firmware that if it realizes it's trying to be read while the device is powered down or various other things, it has a little internal fuse. It will pop, and there goes your widget. It's done. For the longest time, first generation Pi 3Bs, so that's this one, they had a 0 ohm a fuse that if you tried to hook up certain things to test points, if you look, they're clearly marked test points up here, but if you attach them to the wrong test points, that fuse would pop and you'd brick the entire Pi. This little bugger is just got a stock Android OS installed on it. This is going to be the brains to, well, not really, the Pi 5 is going to be the brains, but this is going to be, doesn't matter. Let's just say I'm working on something really cool. And then I found this little sucker. Now this sucker is interesting because I will be doing a more in-depth review on this little sucker. Now this sucker is what's known as a Odroid 02 or Charlie 2. Okay. Now these are discontinued now, so they're pretty cheap. But these have a unique thing that separates them from a Raspberry Pi. They look identical, same identical footprints. Everything about them is identical, with the exception of a few things where certain components have been moved around, i.e., SIM cards here, SD cards here, SD cards here. Also, this the droid can have individual upgraded EMCC units, which means I can buy a pre-flashed EMCC OS chip and just bung it on there and then keep that for just generalized mass storage. Great, right? Not really. But it's a neat idea. This one also comes with a little metal cooler that you can just stick a little small fan on, and doesn't have a dedicated fan header. But this, you can also disable the HDMI by pulling that off, and it disables the onboard HDMI. So you get a little bit more boost in performance. Not much, but you do. Also got an infrared input-output generalized point, so you can actually use this to trigger other projects like TVs, things of that nature, or even just remote control a car. It'll give it like simple, go here 5 steps, turn left 5 steps, go forward 5. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm going to be using this. Also, this has a proprietary barrel jack. Little tiny thing right here. Doesn't use USB-C or anything like that. I might look at replacing that with a USB Type-C connector, or see if I can't build an adapter or a breakout adapter board where you can just plug in a USB Type-C or a USB whatever. Because I hate proprietary connectors. They're just stupid. You're limiting yourself. Has a generalized USB input output, so you can use this for power, but you can also use it to connect things like with an adapter, of course, full-size USB items. Like this is a keyboard and mouse dongle right here. You can also connect a Bluetooth dongle to this instead if you want to, and then that way you can use a Bluetooth keyboard, mouse, headset, everything else. Plug in your power, and then plug in your HDMI, and then just put a small fan on it, and then rock away and use this as a little device. I personally, now this does have a basic operating system on it, non-GUI. It's just a straight up Linux interface. Reason why is because I'm going to be using this bugger in tandem with this bugger, in tandem with some other system. Basically, I'm building myself a little Pi cluster, and in this Pi cluster is going to be individual projects or Dockers or dock stations on each of the Pis. So the Pi is going to have, especially the Droid, because it's got 2 gigs of RAM and a way better, faster processor. So this is currently the core brain until I can get a Pi 5 with an actual general compute module for it. But that's what this is going to be for. This is going to be for running the external interface and various other things. Long story short, what I'm planning on doing is, I have a friend. I just made friends with this person, like literally less than, I'd say 4 days ago, and they lost their eyesight due to diabetes, and they've been blind for 11 plus years, and they're still getting used to being blind, i.e. they're still having issues navigating and doing just daily tasks. He even has a little home help person come and help him, bless him. And at the same time, I'm also working on my own personal AI assistant. Now, that's not new. I've already told you guys about this. However, I am at my first iteration of that. Now, ignore the screen. The screen's damaged. I've got a new screen on the way. Should be here today, actually. But this is a Pi W2. This is only a 512. And there is a 2 gigabyte version. Although the 2 gigabyte version is like rocking horse shit rare. You can modify the 512 into a 2 gig version, but you've got to find the correct RAM, SMD chips, and it's a ball ache. So most people just stick with the 512s, and then get a Pi 3 or 4 or 5 when they want to go up higher, and then just add in a you can buy a breakout board for the W2, that turns it into a mini Pi 3. Gives it the exact same ports, everything else that you just saw on that one. Even gives it an extra LAN port. You name it. I want to get a... basically, what I want to do is I'm going to be getting myself a Pineapple router as well. I'm going to be learning router hacking here and whatnot today. That's my goal course on my personal challenges. Sorry if I'm talking a lot of tech and geek, guys, but it makes me smile, makes me happy. Well, I managed to flash. Where are you? I managed to flash these Bluetooth headphones. Now, these are the generic headphones I got from a little cheap electronics corner store. But I did manage to firmware flash these through Bluetooth hacking them. And so these now openly secure, i.e. it's a one-time secure key to one device and one device only. And that happens to be this old Android A12. So these only ever talk to this. And I did that as a proof of concept to lock down your Bluetooth devices. Because if you don't know this, there is a way that you can hack someone's phone or hack someone's laptop or anything through a Bluetooth device. It's called bluejacking. And I wrote a paper on it. When I was learning cybersecurity, I wrote a really long paper on it. And even my teacher was like, I don't think this is possible. And I goes, actually it is. I've already done it as a proof of concept. Here's the entire contacts on your phone. Here's the entire text messages you sent to your wife this morning. And the look on his face was, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah, I've already gone ahead and done it as a proof of concept. Now, he was kind of upset because I hacked him. But he did give me the extra credits that I needed to get my cert, my starting cert in cybersecurity. In A plus. In CompTIA Security Plus. So I like to go after them. Don't get me wrong. Being defensive is one thing. Hence, that's why you can have an AI do that. You can do little projects like Ponagotchi's, Bjorn's, things like that nature. Bjorn will scan your network. Ponagotchi will pwn your network. Okay? So Bjorn, oh look, this port's open. This, that. It advises you. I actually take a Bjorn with me when I do audits for companies. I will go to a coffee shop. I will bring up Bjorn. And I'll let it scan while I'm sitting there sipping on my overpriced freaking Americano. Just like this. And, you know, I've got my little Bjorn doing his thing. So I'm just, and the best part is I do have a portal to my Bjorn on my phone. So I got this phone out, yeah, my A12, and like this, and I bring it up, and I'm like, bing, there's the portal to it, and I'm like, oh, interesting. So, sipping on my Americano, doing this, letting it do its thing. Before you know it, it tells me, this port's open on the router. Or, this is vulnerable to SSH, or this is vulnerable to this, or this is vulnerable to that. And I'm like, interesting. Take that, feed that into my laptop that's running Kali Purple. If you know what that means, Kali Purple is a offensive and defensive, but it primarily focuses on offensive version of Linux that lets you do some hacking. Then I break out my now. This is just a generic 2.4 to 5 gigahertz receiver. Okay. Generic. I put this on my Pis, especially my my little Ponagotchi there to boost its signal range a little bit. But when you do that, it consumes a lot more power. So when you add those little those antennas, you've got to add more power. Now, I've got another one. Believe it's up. Yeah, it's up there. It's up on that top shelf. That one is firmware hacked, and that one will both send and receive. Thank you, Hack5. Hack5 showed me how to upgrade the firmware on it and whatnot, and flash it. And so it works with Linux, it works with Windows, it works with Mac. You plug it in like you do one of these, and it just goes doo-doo, and it loads your driver and everything else and does its own thing. And now all of a sudden, here's your freaking IP, your DNS, and everything else. And da 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 da. But that hacked one, I am in the process of incorporating my own VPN into it. A VPN that will be run by my Pis. Are you starting to see why I have it in my lab now, in my hack lab? So that will be in there. That project that's powered on right now as we speak is a Ponegotchi. Again, the screen's damaged, so I've got a new screen coming today. I've got another Pi W2 coming today. That bugger is going to be turned into a spare Bjorn. So that'll be fun. The Ponegotchi, like I said, I use the Bjorn for scanning, as well as Nmap and a few other tools on the laptop. Now, laptop's basic input-output is okay. Now, I have to physically turn on the Bluetooth on this laptop. Now, the reason why I have to physically turn on the Bluetooth is because the version of Kali I've got doesn't necessarily like the Bluetooth chip. It works, but the chip itself is a bit stubborn. It was even stubborn in Windows. And so where it gets a bit stubborn and says, no, I don't want to, I have to physically go into like sudo apt Bluetooth CTL on I physically have to put in code. I've even tried running scripts, Python scripts, doesn't work. I have to physically do it myself every goddamn time. But you know what? That's fine. The reason why I say that is because, again, it stops Bluetooth jackers. It stops hackers from trying to hack me. If you can close off one avenue of attack, i.e., why do you think castles have drawbridges? I see it as me pulling up a drawbridge or putting down a drawbridge. You know, there's that the meme of closing the gate. Oh wait, they're on our side. Raising the gate. Oh wait, hang on, I don't think so. Closing the gate. You know, and it's that meme. That's what I do when it comes to my laptop. There are certain ports that I physically turn on or off, depending on what I'm doing. So while I'm doing that, and while I'm Nmapping, I will bring up my Kali Linux install on the phone, because I've got two versions of Kali Linux. This one, a direct port talks to the laptop for extra oomph when I'm trying to do multitasks. And so I'll have my phone, this phone, face down or face up, depending on what I'm doing, next to my laptop. It looks like I'm just having an Americano, writing an email, and I'll even have a freaking text thing up, like a text screen up. I'm just doing what I need to do. Or I will sit outside, because again, the antenna adapter I've got for my Wi-Fi is strong enough. And so I will hack the coffee shop. I will hack their router. I will take their router down. I will firmware flash their router and put in my own whatever I want. I could put in a Rickroll. I could put in my own keylogger. I could put in my own rat. I could put in whatever. I don't suggest you do that, because it's illegal. But I'm just saying, ethically, I go into places like that, especially here where I live. There's a lot of restaurants and stuff, and because there's uni students everywhere, and they're all dumb. I'm sorry, but they're all dumb, and they're easily fooled. And if I wanted to be mean, if I wanted to, again, this is all alleged allegations. This is all alleged. So please, YouTube, police, whatever. I'm just saying this is possible. You could do this. Not that I would, but you could. If I was a very malicious person you could do this. I'm not. I'm a good guy. All right. I would probably start off by finding a bus that gives free Wi-Fi, but has a long route or has lots of stops. Reason being is it's going to take me a while to brute force that router. While I'm brute forcing that router, because no one's going to pay attention to you, especially if you're sitting at the back of the bus at the top, if it's a double decker, and you've got a little laptop out, or you've got your phone out, and it's using a web GUI to your Pi that's in your bag, hooked up to a battery pack, something similar to this that will last about 4 hours. You know, what is the charge on this one? That's full charge. So take that and you plug it in, and your little Pi's just sitting there doing its thing, doing all the brain, being the brain, doing all the work, while you're just sitting there and it looks like you're just on your phone, just playing a game on your phone. You got your headphones on, so no one's going to disturb you. But what you're actually doing is you're actually hacking the free Wi-Fi. You're using it as a point of entry. Now, once you've hacked the Wi-Fi, you want to figure out the Wi-Fi brand, firmware, you name it. And you want to clone the firmware. Take that clone. This hack will take you a while to do. You can't do it overnight. This is going to require a lot of recon. Okay, so you've now got the bus's firmware for the router. You can take that firmware, you then start coding. This is what I'm saying to you. This is why you need to learn Python, you need to learn C, you need to learn a whole bunch of code. Okay? Or, yes, you could, in fact, if you're smart enough and you run local AIs or local coding AIs, like I do on your machine, you can do some coding and then run your code through the AI. The AI will say, hang on, if you change this, and this, it's more efficient, it does it faster, run it through a few simulations, which you can do, by the way, with the correct AI. You can run them through simulations, and it will tell you whether it will work or it will fail. You can even virtualize that BIOS by emulating the router. So you're emulating this router, with your Pis and whatnot. You're emulating this router, and in a virtual space, see if the hacked BIOS works. If it does work and it's flashed and it's in there, and you've got now permanent root access, you then take that file. You then get on that, not necessarily the exact same bus, but the same bus route. So if you're doing it on a 666 bus, not that I don't think that bus exists, but if you're doing it on a 666 bus, you can get on a different 666 bus. Scan it again. If it's the same router, same make, same model, high chance it's going to have the same fucking other credentials. Try it. Get in. Great. If you don't get in, practice. Oh, you're now in. Now, what most smart hackers will do, if they've hacked a mobile hotspot, which is what you've just done, if it's in a vehicle like a bus or a tube, train, whatever, they try to write down the name, the carriage number, etc., so they've got it in their head. Okay, so if it's like, oh, I hacked that bus 2 weeks ago, I've got login credentials. Beep, 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 done. So, like I said, this hack can take a while to implement if you're by yourself. If you're with a crew, not so much. Now, this is why I work alone. Now you've got this modified firmware. You're on the bus that you previously pulled the firmware from. Okay? Use your login credentials, everything else works just fine. You're in. Boop, boop, boop. Update firmware. Firmware gets updated, and you wait. The reason why you wait, because you don't want to reset the router. Okay? Because the router resets when the bus turns off. Now, I don't know about you, but where I come from, the buses here are either hybrids or all electric. And the bus drivers are told, if you stop for more than 5 minutes, you must turn the vehicle off. That, therefore, resets the router for you. So you don't have to send a reset command. So you wait, especially when it's a driver transfer or driver change. So to do their driver change, you're still sitting back there. You just look like a regular person, earbuds on, just doing your thing, listening to a bit of SpongeBob. SpongeBob sings Prodigy, or whatever it is you kids are listening to now. And then bus comes back on, router comes back up. You log back in, firmware's taken. You now own that bus. That bus is now yours. It's your bitch. You can do whatever you want. You can install, again, allegedly, you can install cryptocurrency, crypto miners. You can install rats. You can install botnets. You can install Trojans. You can install whatever it is you want to install. This is why I never use any free Wi-Fi anywhere I go. I have unlimited data on my phone. Why would I want to connect to a Wi-Fi spot? If I have a device that needs to connect to the internet, I turn my phone into a hotspot. Why? I have unlimited data. My phone is a secured connection. Be smarter. You got to limit down your weak spots. Same as data takedown requests. You can actually have ChatGPT fill out all the forms for you. You don't need to hire a company and pay them 20, 30, 40 pounds a month to monitor your debt. No, you don't. You can do it yourself. You can set a reminder. Like, I can just say, hey Alexa, set a reminder for so and so and so and so. Now, it's not going to respond to Alexa because that's not its wake up name. I'm not going to tell you my computer's wake up name. I'm not going to tell you a wake up name. But you are never going to get it. And another thing, what most people don't realize is you can actually take an older model Alexa, flash the firmware, and make it part of your incorporated AI. It's really not that hard. What's lacking when it comes to your own personal assistant like Jeeves or what Tony Stark had, what's lacking there is the technological framework. And what I mean by that is, yes, you can get a large language model, you can get whatever it is that you want to get. However, what is stopping us is these watches, it's our phones, they just don't have the compute power personally on them. But where I Bluetooth tether my devices, like my watch, my buds and whatnot, to my phone, again, that has unlimited data, that's now bypassed because I can then set up a private direct connection from my phone via an app to my home lab. And so now all the processing is being done at home. I have 3 computers. I have this one, I have my old gaming rig there, and then I have my NAS right down here. Now my NAS is going to get up. Long story short, I have plans for upgrades for my before my birthday. And what I mean by that is I'm getting a brand new processor and I'm maxing out the RAM to like 128 gigs on this machine. Now people are like, that's a bit fucking much, isn't it? It is. But this is my work computer. I need this computer for work. I need this computer for if I want to play a video game or virtualization or anything else. And you need a lot of RAM for that. You also need a lot of processor. Now, unfortunately, I'm not buying a 5000 series card. No. But that being said, because of the bad reviews on the 5000 series card, everyone's going back to the 4000 series card. And so the price of the 4000 series card has actually shot up to the point where it's almost on par with a 5000 series card, which makes no fucking sense. None. Mind you, I can't wait for Kingpin to come out with his own card. That would be fucking amazing. Bring back Kingpin. So much wind. Seriously, love Kingpin stuff. I've always loved Kingpin's stuff. He's an amazing person, and I wish him all the best. I do. Some of his e-bike designs. Oh my god. My younger brother loves bikes. He's a bike fanatic. Growing up, he had mopeds, Vespas, you name it. Loved motorbikes. I'm actually seriously thinking about getting an e-bike because they just look like fun, you know? They do, they just look like fun. Anyway, so I'm working on building up my own home lab. I'm working on a whole bunch of new 3D printed models, especially this guy. He had some fitment issues, but that was because it is what it is. So I had to green stuff certain parts, but yeah, it wasn't a bad print. It was just the model itself was poorly sculpted in the first place, and then this is just a straight 3D scan rip of the model, which, by the way, is not illegal. You can 3D scan anything that belongs to you that you've paid for. It's called making a digital backup, a digital copy. What is illegal is selling it. But if you can prove to someone that you have the actual physical model, it's not illegal to own a digital scanned copy of it. So, just like a ROM, it's not illegal to own a ROM as long as you own the physical game. So yeah, I'm going to be working on painting up a few miniatures to get back into the swing of painting again, while I'm going to school and doing some schooling stuff. And so there's a high chance that you guys will see me stream, but I'll be streaming my school stuff, which really isn't all that entertaining. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got goals, I've got aspirations, I want to get some things done. I want to get back out there into the tech sector. I want to help my blind friend by designing an app to help him. And at the same time, I want to do it because I know that if I can get this to get off the ground, it'll be a ridiculous income. I'm talking generational wealth, not just for me, but for my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, you name it. It will be generational wealth. And I sure as fuck ain't going to be living in England. I will literally move to whatever country will take me other than England. Sorry, just not happening. What else? Oh, if you are thinking about setting up your own home lab, think about incorporating a locally run AI to help you streamline your efficiency. What I mean by that is, I have GPT 4.0. I pay for it. Okay? Yes, I pay for something. But I also have a localized AI. I don't. That runs off my graphics card. Okay? My poor little 3000 series is struggling. I've got to get an upgraded GPU just for dedicated AI stuff. Hence, this is why I'm going to be running it probably in my NAS or on my other computer, and have the AI work on that machine, while solely just on that machine. So all the resources of that computer is just solely for her. And yes, my AI is a her. My AI even has a custom voice. I've been working on a new game/app idea as well, so that's going to be fun. I'm not going to talk more about that until the alpha/beta is ready to be launched and go, kind of thing. So that'll be fun. So yeah, Yeah, I've got a lot going on right now. A lot. And this video's been going on for a while. Jesus Christ. So, anyway, guys, this coffee's going to be done. Coffee's done. Video's done. I'll see you sexy bastards in the next one.